Daylight savings time is a fake figment of our imagination. You know what?
Now, what do you call it?
J time.
J time. We don't have to say what the J in J time means.
No, it stands for Julian time.
Yes.
Because I'm going back to the Julian calendar. Before daylight savings.
Right.
And last November, everyone set their clocks back like a bunch of sheeple. I kept my clocks the same. I've been holding out for 5.5 months, and now is my day of reckoning. Everyone had to twist and turn their clocks, fidget with their clocks all day today, where I just had to sit back while all the wages of the world had to stress out about, I lost an hour. Folks.
I lost an hour of daylight. I used to have an extra hour of daylight, and now I don't have an extra hour of daylight. Fucking just wake up like normal and don't look at the clock and you have the exact same amount of daylight.
Folks, daylight time is the future. I am permanently on daylight time. Soon, the rest of this country will join me. It's only a matter of time. So I will not conform to this fake J time.
Yes.
That everyone magically decides to do because the government just has the boot to your throat and you're such a goddamn wagey cuck that you're like, okay, I'll set my clock back. Yes, Mr. Government, I'll set my clock back.
Yeah, get on J time, everyone. No, fuck that shit. I was going along with it for a while. I will admit that I fell off, but I was trying to stay strong. I'm not going to do anything different with my schedule. I'm going to wake up as though it's the same time that it was before. I don't care what the clocks say. I'm just waking up an hour earlier or whatever. And I'm eating at the same times and going to sleep at the same times. But something happened and I think I lost the plot and I got on J time. They got me on J time. They pulled me in probably within the last month. But it feels good to be back.
Yeah, well,
this is normal.
You know what ended up screwing me up? Because it's still not enough that I have to be pragmatic and not deal with this stupid bullshit. But from my frame of reference, since I keep my clock the same, it's the relative experience that everything else, like all the businesses, are open an hour later.
Yes.
And so since I started going to the gym, and I often go during the evening, it's basically like I sign up for the package where I'm only allowed to go to the gym from 7 to 9 p.m. So basically, when the clocks change for the rest of the world, it's the equivalent, it's the final consequence of me having to go to the gym an hour later. And I think that affects my whole body schedule where like my heart rate's up and I'm physically active. It makes me want to fall asleep later. So that's the way of the rest of society wiggling its way back into just controlling me and putting me back on the fake time scale. But everything's back to normal now, so hopefully we won't have to be dealing with that any longer.
Yeah, the last thing on... Well, we tried to look it up, and I really just want to do more of a rant video on daylight savings time. Because
maybe we can do an episode.
Yeah, because we were trying to watch videos because it made no sense, and so we're trying to get to the bottom of it. And there's so many different excuses that I've heard my entire life about why they even have daylight savings time. It's the farmers love it, or the farmers want it for some reason. The farmers fucking hate daylight savings time because all it does is disrupt their schedule, which is based around when the sun comes up and when the sun goes down. Oh, it gives them an extra hour of daylight. People still say this shit, an extra hour of daylight? What the fuck are you talking about? The sun doesn't change because our clocks change. It comes down to, from what I understand, energy production and energy use during the war.
During World War I,
yeah,
they had to conserve energy
like coal
for the factories to produce more bombs to ship overseas, and then we just kept it. We just kept it that way. Just this endless blood ritual. It's a blood ritual because it's statistically proven that every time they change the clock forward or back, there's a spike in traffic accidents.
Yeah, people
the following
get fucked
workday.
up.
It's like literally a blood sacrifice for the government to exert just pure power and authoritarianism over the people.
Right, seeing what you can get away with, some crazy thing like for half the year or almost, let's change time and see if everyone falls into line.
Everyone hates it.
How about this? Make school start earlier.
95% of people hate changing their clocks. It passed the House of Representatives 2 years ago, like the Sunshine Protection Act, which I think was started by Florida lawmakers, where they want to make EDT permanent. Well, so currently in the United States, individual states have the right to stay on standard time permanently. And I think Hawaii and Arizona are on EST.
They're on island time.
But EST is the shitty version where you get off your workday and it's fucking dark out. No, we want to be on EDT, daylight time permanently, so that there's still like an hour or so of sunlight after you get off work. And you can actually go to the fucking park and touch grass and enjoy your day without it being dark and without you having to be mugged by a fentanyl-addicted homeless man.
Yes. And they were talking about just the energy-saving aspects, which might have made sense during the wartime. Someone did the math on it, and they said the amount of energy that they would save now, based on how low the cost of energy production is fucking cents.
It's like you save 30 cents a year on energy costs.
To change all of time, every business has to change their shit. Listen, if you don't want to conform to it, just build your business around the natural flowing rotation of the sun around the earth.
Businesses just set their hours anyway. They set their own hours.
Yeah. Well, stock market, I mean, maybe they can't manipulate it as well
Well, a majority of stock trading now is from overseas anyway, so it might as well be a 24-hour thing. In fact, I thought I saw an article the other day saying they're trying to make, like the NASDAQ, a 24-hour trading.
It's 24-hour trading for all the people on the inside and the back markets. Like they get to trade whenever the market's closed.
So that excuse is out the window.
Yeah.
I guess Ukraine needs daylight savings time. All right, well, let's just get to the rest of these. The French went even further. I guess this is referring to daylight savings, changing the weeks to have 10 days with 10 hours in a day and 100 seconds to a minute. Metric insanity.
When did they do that?
That was probably during the Reign of Terror, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
like Robespierre.
Probably after Robespierre, because there were so many different iterations of France. Like I forget what they call it. It's slipping my mind right now. What they call their new government, their new power system. But whenever that would start, it would just get overthrown again every 10 years, and so they're on like their 5th iteration right now. So would that have been during Napoleon or before Napoleon?
It's probably around that era, revolutionary era.
Just trying something new, because we're on Gregorian and Julian. Gregorian time? I fucking forget. I'll look all this up because I do want to explain all this.
Well, 10 hours in a day sounds pretty convoluted, but technically all measurement of time is just a human abstraction. So
I don't think so.
Does it really matter?
I don't think that when people say time is fake, the argument against it is like for that is that just our measurements of time can be based around whatever we put on nature. But now we have what a second is down to the oscillations of a cesium atom. And so these cesium crystals are a second is defined by, 2 million something oscillations of this. So we're actually basing it directly on natural observations. And then if you kind of cycle that up and you can decide that perhaps there's 365 days, not directly, based on how long it takes for the Earth to go around the sun and how many times we have sun up and sun down, I think we are basing it on nature. We're not just making this up. And then also, if you just look into how time connects with the mesh of outer space and how it affects speed and energy and whatnot, it is used in mathematical equations to a point that if that is true, I would say time is definitely not fake.
Well, it's a real property of the universe. But
I just don't think it's properly measured.
I'm attempting to segment it into whatever unit of measurement. I think that's arbitrary.
I will say
you
this.
just make it whatever you want.
I think 120 beats per minute or 90 beats per minute is a time that is a beats per minute that syncs up with the Earth and I think how people experience time, because it's like, I don't know, it's divisible. I'll have to work on that thought. I'm not going to harp on it.